Hi, this is Nancy Love, and I'm making this video on behalf of not only the Planet Peace Project as usual, but I'm actually making this video on behalf of the world, possibly you personally, particularly if you're one of the law enforcement individuals that has joined the Ally and Rise movement, particularly if you're one of the citizens who has joined the Ally and Rise movement. That is a concept I came up with a while back, not very long ago, but a couple of years ago. And I made a few videos about it, and I've sent out a few emails about it to chiefs of police, district attorneys, judges, and so forth. And I've talked to citizens privately about the Ally and Rise movement, and it's about how we will um, we will combat and conquer. I repeat, conquer organized crime when we develop organized good. When we stop living lives of quiet desperation. And when we realize that the main goal of criminals is to isolate the good and prevent us from joining forces and, forming good gangs. The bad gang doesn't want you to be in a good gang because they get stronger with numbers and they fear that we would too. So the good tend to be isolated. We feel like the only angel, but we're not the only angel. None of us is all that alone. And if you've been good and you are basically a decent person who's been on a straight path all your life, then you know how much harder it would be to abnegate your responsibility to yourself and your own moral dignity, and possibly, if you believe in eternity, your immortal soul, and become one of the bad ones. So the longer you've been really good, the harder it would be for you to become anything like that. And I have spoken to police officers, and I gotta tell you, one of the greatest sources of pride that I have ever had is when a police officer or an FBI agent or a DEA agent or a Homeland Security person or somebody like that tells me that they are an Ally and Rise and that they may have taken risks and they may have known suffering because of it. But by God, it's one of the most important concepts because they're so tired of seeing their departments and their divisions overtaken by corrupt individuals who are using the guise of law enforcement as a very effective means of criminality and its perpetuation. So when citizens go to law enforcement agencies, we need to trust that there are people there who want to enforce the laws and protect us. But when those citizens find that the criminals are in cop costumes or at the federal agencies that they should have been able to trust, and that's very disheartening, and it causes people to believe in nothing at all, become hopeless, or believe in vigilante justice. And believe me, you do not want a society in which people are so hopeless that they think vigilante justice is the only kind there is. That's not a good thing. So I have been told by various people that they're in the Ally and Rise movement and that it's taken off and that they're spreading it on their own and that it's meaningful to them. And some of them feel less enslaved by their positions and their jobs and their uniforms now and their badges. They're more meaningful. Go way back into your past during childhood when you were still largely good and pure and innocent. And remember why you wanted to be in law enforcement to begin with. It wasn't only to exert power over other people, and it wasn't for the standpoint of narcissism or ego or to get away with anything. It was because you wanted to help people. The vast majority of people in all law enforcement agencies all over the world got into it to begin with because they wanted to help people and ensure the greater good and make sure there was something called civilization for us to trust and rely on. So it's extremely important to ally and rise. Ally.